Hey folks, this is Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at this knife. This is by HX Outdoors, an assisted Tanto. 9CR14 MOV stainless steel. It's an okay budget steel. Not great, not terrible. But you got an assisted spring in here. You can open it from your thumb stud or a flipper tab. Very, very deep carry pocket clip. G10 handle scales in the low 20s. Thing is, there's also a sale going on right now. I didn't notice it until today. It ends at the end of Sunday, February 17th, 2019. 10% off the entire store at FastTech, which is where you can get this. The coupon code for that is down below, just the word SAVE10, capital letters, SAVE 10. Because they've got other knives like the new Ganzo knives with the D2 steel, $22 to $24 US roughly, and then you save 10% free shipping. So not bad at all. So if you're in the market for something and you're watching this, before it's too late on Sunday night, I'm not sure exactly what time. UTC 6 is when it ends at midnight on Sunday night. So hopefully you see this in time to take advantage of that. And I've got some links down below. If you use my link to open this and then you go buy a different knife, hopefully I will still get a commission off of that. So please use my link to get to FastTech, and then that way you help out the channel and you can save yourself 10%. But we're looking at this knife right now, and we want to see what's good about this, what's bad about this, and if we recommend it or not. So stick around. Okay, I am in a little bit of a rush to get this video out in time on Sunday. I did take this knife apart. There's no skeletonizing on the liners at all, so really there's not much to see except for the fact that there's one spring, and the spring is on this side of the knife. And I'll show you a little diagram of what the style of spring is. The spring, goes into the side of the blade, comes back, and it's got a few loops on it like that. I'll show you a drawing of it inserted right here. It's got okay strength to the springiness. It stops right there where it's just loose. So the spring pulls the first while, and then the last bit of it, it just sort of keeps going from when it's gotten pulled. Ends right there. Now the compression starts to close it. So there's that. Now this dark background's not quite good enough to see some contrast here. Let's try the older background that I have on here. That's a little bit better. It's it's not a heavy knife, but it's, just a tiny bit over 5 ounces, so it's not bad. It's a full-size folder. The pocket clip only is on the one side, but check that out. The pocket clip is higher than the knife by about, not quite 1/8 of an inch, but several millimeters. So all you see when you put this in a pair of pants is that little bit of wire. So you go to put it in the pocket, it slides in very well, and there you go. That's all you see. So it hides very, very well in the pocket. You can get this in 3 different color patterns. So you've got black G10 with black acid wash blade. You can get a sort of sand tan color called desert sand with a stonewash blade, just regular steel colored stonewash blade, or you can get it with a dark green handle scales with a black coating on the blade. I don't really recommend the coating. The coatings, from my experience with HX Outdoors, the coating is a little bit on the cheaper side and it rubs off easier than one would hope. Let's just put it that way. Now, we've got these handle scales that are well milled. You've got all kinds of stuff milled out in them. These 3 lines in here and then a section up here. Big chamfer on the back and nice chamfer on the sides. That helps it to be comfortable in hand because it is a little bit thicker than most knives. It's about 0.6 of an inch instead of 1/2 an inch thick. So that chamfering does help it feel good in the hand. If you've got small men's hands or small, medium women's hands, this might be too big to be comfortable in the hand, but it's okay. Let's go over the shape and everything. So the steel that we have here, 9CR14, it's got a swedge at the top, a little bit of a drop point right there, and then a Tanto with a flat grind, so that's a saber grind, and 2 distinct edges. Nice sharpness choil there that comes out properly. The thumb studs, it's one of my cons, is they're a little bit loose. I can spin them freehand, which isn't good. They're not coming loose. I even grabbed them with some pliers and tried to loosen them. They're on there very tight. They're totally secure, but they, are a little bit spinny. You can spin them. I'm sure they use some kind of Loctite to stop it from coming loose and be able to come off. So it's a very tiny thing. You don't even notice it unless, you focus on it. And, I just test everything on knives. And so when I notice something strange, I have to talk about it. So that's the blade. The handle scales and liners. We've got steel liners. They got the same treatment as the blade. Nice black. A little bit of jimping on there. Not very robust jimping. You've got like 4 little notches taken out of the liner. Nothing on the handle scales. Big heavy stop pin right there. And then you've got two posts for this open pillar construction. The one at the front. And then at the back, you've got a hollow one, which also serves as the lanyard hole. Right there. And that's it. Yeah, you can get 550 paracord through there, no problem. The way they're attached is with these notches on the screws. So use a flat screwdriver. That's actually another con. I really don't like that. It's not that common that you can find screwdrivers that are that wide enough to cross both of those spots and still be as thin as what you need for here. So I had to use my my K-bar tool, not my K-bar tool, my Kershaw tool, the little K Kershaw tool. I'll show you a picture of it. And that was the perfect size for me to take this apart. So not a big deal, but it could have been made differently to be able to take apart than it was. I think now is a good time to go over all the different specs on this thing and dimensions. For the weight on this knife, like I said, it's about 5.15 ounces. It comes with a lanyard on the back. I took the lanyard off. I had to take the lanyard off to take it apart. So it's got, I'll show you a picture of that with that gray sort of camouflage lanyard. With that lanyard, 5.15 ounces, 147 grams. The factory sharpness of the edge here, when I tested it, it took 220 grams of pressure to cut through the cordage. By the way, that chart's coming out at the end of February to compare different brands of knives and how sharp they come from the factory. Let's do the dimensions now. The cutting edge, if you measure it straight from the tip across to the choil right there, 8.28 centimeters, which is 3.26 inches. And then the blade length from the tip of the blade to the closest spot on the G10, it's a little bit less, about 8 centimeters, 3.15 inches. The blade thickness, it's only 2.7 millimeters. That's 0.107 inches. So it's lighter than a lot of knives that I've been reviewing lately, but not bad at all. We've got a lot of knives these days at 3 millimeters, so this is just a tiny bit thinner. The blade depth, that's this way, measured close to the sharpness choil here, 2.92 centimeters, 1.15 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, which is 0.49 millimeters, which is 0.0195 inches. Perfect. I like it to be about 0.5 millimeter thick right there, and that's exactly, well, almost exactly what it is. The grind angle, I just measured the long edge here, 23.4 degrees on the show side here and 22.7 degrees there. So not bad at all, and it's fairly consistent through there. And then the sharpening angle at the cutting edge up here, it's a little bit less. It's under 20 degrees on both sides. So not bad at all. I would sharpen it to 20 degrees everywhere the first time I sharpen this when I get around to that. So not bad for the grind angle. Good sharpness as well from the factory, not bad. The handle length is 11.56 centimeters, which is 4.55 inches. The grip area in here is about 9 centimeters, about 3.5 inches. That's not an exact number. That's just sort of a rough number. The handle thickness is 1.59 centimeters, which is 0.627 inches. It's a little bit heavier than some knives. And I do measure all of my measurements, my weights and everything using good equipment here at home, because the specs on websites, even manufacturers' websites and stores, are often a fair bit off. Not always, but usually. So that's the handle length and the handle thickness and the grip area, the handle depth. The handle depth is this measurement right here, and I measured it up here, and not where the hand goes. The thickest spot where the hand goes is right there, which is 2.83 centimeters, 1.12 inches. And then the depth when it's closed is about the same spot right here. That's 3.64 centimeters, 1.43 inches. The total length of this knife when the blade is deployed, I forgot to convert it to inches. It's 19.4 centimeters, which is, might as well use my tape right here. Just over 7.5 inches. Okay, so that's the measurements and stuff and all, the specs that you need to know. How much does this knife cost? This knife, the folding version, is about $23.89, that's US, about $29.86 Canadian, just over 20 euros, just less than 18 British pounds. They've got this same knife, this Alpha Ray, as a fixed blade, which actually I like better than this knife. And that's more like, 33 US dollars for the fixed blade version. I'll leave a link for that down below as well, if you're into fixed blade Tantos. Yeah, it also has thicker blade stock. It's about 5 millimeters thick, whereas this is 2.7. So the fixed blade one's actually recommended. The unique features of this, well, not many knives in this budget category come with a paracord lanyard, so this one has that, as you saw in the picture. The pocket clip is a super deep carry pocket clip. The pros and cons on this thing, it's a fairly comfortable knife in the hand, especially with large and extra large hands, except for, here's a con, that corner of the pocket clip right there creates a hot spot sometimes. It did for me anyways, because I would hold it like this with the palm of my hand coming past right there. And as you can see where the clip is touching my hand, that creates some hot spots right there. So depending on how you grip and how you hold the knife, other grips, no problem at all. A reverse grip, either hand, no problem. Just your basic grip, you can get a little bit of a hot spot there. Nice black acid wash. I really like that, what they did there. I don't like all this printing all over the knife. That's just a personal taste kind of thing. The G10 is well milled. I like that. They did a good job, nice clean job on that. The liner lock is easy to actuate. But I'll show you some pictures of it. The liner lock is about midway right now. We've got white nylon washers in here that, they're not bad at all. The spring's stopping me from going further, but, it's got a good kind of tension to it. Opens fairly well. Blade centering is not very great. It's a bit off right there. When I put it back together, it's even worse. When I got it, it was, when I got it, it was about here. Let me get this zoomed in. When I got it, it was about there. And now when I got it back together, it's a little bit worse. And it's hard to adjust it with only these two screws. So, yeah, there's that. The other cons on this thing that I wanted to mention, and there are a few. Again, the thumb studs are a little bit loose. The blade, actually, there's a tiny bit of blade play side to side when I got it, and I've snugged that up, and that might be why the alignment's off a little bit. I dislike the way these screws are. I mentioned that already. The pocket clip can get hot, but I like how deep carry it is. So, that's pro and con right there. And that's what's going on. If you've got small hands, I don't recommend this either. So it's really one of those knives that it has to be something that you want and it has to, just like every knife, I guess. But this isn't a knife that I would recommend to a lot of people. There's just a few people that, you have to be the guy that wants, or the gal that wants an assisted Tanto, and you don't mind it being a little bit bigger, and you want the really deep carry, although it's only right side. If you really want this thing, hey, then it's not a terrible knife. But it's just an okay knife. It's not in the good category. It's just in the okay category. For the price, how it's built and everything, I was a little disappointed. HX Outdoors is a brand that usually does a whole lot better. They've had a few knives that I said, were really, really good, and a number of knives that were just, quite good. But this one, merely okay. So there's that. If you're still looking to buy this, links are down below. If you are interested on anything from FastTech, the entire store is 10% off. Just use my link to get started at FastTech, and I should get a commission off of whatever you buy. That helps out my channel an awful lot. My channel runs on a very tight budget, so I thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. Very tight and very small budget. And so I appreciate all the help that I can get. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, all the good things you guys do for this channel. If you have any questions, email me. I read all the comments and I reply to them, although it often takes me 2 days or so to reply to all the comments. But thanks anyways. I do my best. Remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.